Obviously, we know who the draw. I mean, we know who a lot of new fans talk about when we talk about the WNBA. You know, we know who a lot of media outlets are going to promote when talking about the WNBA, and rightfully so. You know, no offense to her, she's incredible, but what I think is being lost, and what I think that a lot of publications are not doing, is giving justice to other people that probably deserve it. Um, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to talk about a bunch of people, but I will talk about some things that I think needs a little bit more light in the WNBA. For one, I want to say shout out to the Minnesota Lynx for winning the Commissioner's Cup. Um, for people that say that the WNBA is trash, nobody really watches the WNBA, nobody cares about the WNBA. Well, I will say for a lot of people, for the people that say nobody cares about the NBA or WNBA, do you realize a lot of the WNBA practices are taken and used for different leagues? Like the in-season tournament for the NBA is a direct copy of what the Commissioner's Cup is for the WNBA. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of tweaking everything, but the in-season tournament came from the Commissioner's Cup in the WNBA. Um, if you're talking about, let's see, what the if you're talking about, I think the WNBA were the first league, or they were the first ones to really implement. How do I say this? There's a lot of rules that the NBA does that the WNBA were pretty much the quote unquote test dummies for. Not calling them stupid, not calling them dummies. I'm just saying a lot of the rules that you see that the NBA, a lot of new rules that you see, were already implemented in the WNBA. They're just seeing if it works or not. So a lot of things that we see go on in sports happens because the WNBA. I will just say that. But again, going back, congratulations to the Minnesota Lynx for winning the Commissioner's Cup. Nafisa Collier is probably, if it wasn't for Asia Wilson, who we're going to talk about in a second, Nafisa Collier would probably be the MVP of the league. She's having one of her best seasons, and historically one of the best seasons from an individual in WNBA history. Again, if it wasn't for somebody else that's having an even greater season, it probably be Nafisa Collier, who led, again, the Minnesota Lynx not only to one of the better records in the WNBA, or the W, but led their team to the in-season tournament pretty much, which is the Commissioner's Cup. So shouts out to the Minnesota Lynx. I do feel like they need to get a little bit more love than they've been getting. Also, I want to shout out Asia Wilson. Now, obviously, yes, she's the best player in the WNBA. I'm not gonna act like she's not. Obviously, she has been. If there's a player that has been promoted outside of that one young lady that we aren't gonna discuss right now, it probably is Asia Wilson. So I'm not saying that Asia Wilson isn't getting credit. I'm not saying that she isn't getting what she deserves. What I will say, however, is I don't think people are understanding exactly what Asia Wilson is doing. Asia Wilson is statistically, she's putting together one of the greatest WNBA seasons we have ever seen from a player. Let me just give you some of her averages real quick. Asia Wilson. I forgot the apostrophe. Lord have mercy. when I say that what we're seeing out of Asia Wilson right now is something that we have never seen. And again, this is going. We're talking about. We're talking about a player that, or we're talking about a league that has seen some incredible players like Lisa Leslie, like Rebecca Lobo, like Lauren Jackson, like Candace Parker, like Maya Moore. We've seen some incredible women, but what Asia Wilson is doing, currently averaging 28 points a game, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. We don't see that too often, if ever, from the WNBA. She is putting on a historic season. Now, I know that you can look and say, well, they're 9-6. And them, the Vegas Aces being 9-6 should show you the importance of a point guard. That's why I'm not saying she's the best, obviously, but I think Chelsea Gray being there or missing time definitely got Vegas off to a slow start. But with her being back, which is Chelsea Gray, now you're seeing Vegas look more like themselves. They still struggle a little bit on the pick and roll defense, but this team is incredible. And I want to shout out the incredible play of Asia Wilson. She is by far the best. There was kind of like a debate between who was the best maybe going into the season last year. Was like, is it Asia Wilson or is it Breanna Stewart? Those are pretty much the two names that have been jockeying back and forth for best player in the league. I think that if you look today, Asia Wilson has taken that title and ran with it as the best player. Again, she's having a historic season that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. I think she's the runaway player for winning, I think, her third. Would it be her third? I think it would be her third MVP. And she's one player that, how do I say this? She's taking the best player in the league title and running with it. So I did want to give a shout out and bring light to exactly what Asia Wilson is doing, saying as though it is pretty historic. It needs to be talked about. And lastly, the last thing I want to talk about, and the last person that I want to give shouts out to is, to me, the player that, if we look today, and if we talk about it today, I think she deserves to be the Rookie of the Year, and that is Angel Reese. Don't get me wrong, man. I like Aaliyah Edwards, but as a Washington fan, it still sucks that we passed up on Angel Reese, who is a Baltimore native. But again, I want to make it obviously it probably won't happen. And I understand, I understand marketing. I understand the things that organizations have to do to promote things, and I get it. And rightfully so. I'll say it. Rightfully so. Caitlin Clark has had an incredible rookie year. She's had a historic rookie year in and of itself, and I will give her a shout out for that. But in no way, shape, or form do I think that Caitlin Clark has had a better rookie year so far than Angel Reese. I mean, as we speak, I think they play tonight. I could be wrong. No. So as we speak, Angel Reese has 9 consecutive double-doubles, which is the most by a rookie in WNBA history, or tied with the most in WNBA history. She is averaging pretty much 14 points a game, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 assists. Those are veteran numbers, and those are incredible numbers. Now, I know that the Sky are 6-10, but they are full of young players. But Angel Reese, in my opinion, I know Caitlin Clark gets all the love, gets all the praise, gets all the attention. I think that Angel Reese not only has been the best player of this draft or of this rookie class, but I think that she should be the rookie of the year by far. And she just had a game against the Vegas Aces. They lost, but she had 18 and 11. Against the Indiana Fever, she had 25 and 16. Like, she going crazy, bro. Oh, man. She's been incredible. This season has been incredible. Oh, for people that don't agree with me about Napheesa Collier, give me a second. Napheesa Collier is also, she's averaging 21.4 points a game, 10.4 rebounds, 4 assists pretty much, and 2 steals. This is the woman that if it wasn't for A'ja Wilson, Napheesa Collier would probably be my front runner for MVP. And they're 13 and 4. So again, I just feel and I hope that moving forward, a lot of these women get the credit, get the acknowledgement that they deserve. And I just wish that it wouldn't be off the back of somebody else. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those people that say, "Oh, Caitlin Clark, she shouldn't get the love that she gets. She shouldn't get the recognition." I think recognition for Caitlin Clark also brings eyes and brings recognition to the league. And a lot of the changes that obviously Caitlin Clark her presence has spurred definitely affects and helps other people and helps the league in general. So for that, I respect it. And I'm not mad for the amount of coverage she gets. I think that is rightfully deserved, seeing as though what she's done in the WNBA so far and what she did at Iowa. I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about her, and I'm also not saying that her presence shouldn't be a thing. But what I am saying is I hope that we get to a point where we start regularly acknowledging other people in their feats just as much as as we do Caitlin Clark. Not saying we should do her less and people more. No, I'm just saying I just hope that the incredibly talented other women in the league, get the same amount of coverage, if not more, than Caitlin Clark because they deserve it. Again, Angel Reese, in my opinion, is the rookie of the year, and I think that she's still second in vote, second as far as the odds to win it. I looked it up. Sports media talks about Caitlin Clark more than they talk about A'ja Wilson. Again, this is no shot about Caitlin Clark. This is more a shot of let's be media outlets and tell people what they should hear, not just what would get clicks. You know what I mean? A'ja Wilson, Napheesa Collier, those are the two best players in the league right now. So, and lastly, get well soon, Cameron Brink. She tore her ACL probably last week or maybe this week. And it was obviously confirmed the next day that she tore her ACL. It was going to be a long recovery, meaning she's not going to be in the Olympic 3-on-3 anymore. And it also looking like Ryan Howard may not be in the 3-on-3 as well. I think that's still pending, but I know for sure Cameron Brink isn't going to be in it because they replaced her with Derica Hamby, which she's been incredible as well, no offense. But I just wish for a speedy recovery, and I hope that she is able to stay strong and get back to and even better than she was. So, oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.